Okay,
Okay.
now being recorded. If I did now, I would get. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna wait about 2 more minutes and make sure no one else joins, and then we'll get started so that we. When is Portland Avenue's VBS? Are they in June or July? I forget.
It's the last week of June that goes into July.
Okay, yeah, that's when ours is.
Okay.
But you guys are doing it in the daytime. Do you guys do it in the daytime?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's when ours is, but we were afraid that we would lose people. So ours is Sunday through Wednesday, since that Thursday is July 1st. So that was part of our, we're always the last week of June, but you know, there's that time when it runs into July and we can't do it the week before, because that's the 3rd week of June when youth go to Falls Creek, and that's, you know, set by the Falls Creek cabins. So that was part of our, you know, we were like, well, we don't want to just do 3 days. If we do 4, we can do Sunday. And then we thought if it was going to be weird weather, I mean, if it was going to be because of COVID, if we needed to be like outside for some reason, if that was better, it would be cooler in the evening. So that was sort of a contingency kind of a deal.
Yeah,
so
that's a good idea.
So we're going to try it at night and see how it goes. I'm sort of a traditional daytime VBS girl, but you never know. Sunday, you know, it can work in the evening. And
yeah,
I mean, it might just be great. So we'll go with that and see how it works. So
good.
Yeah, we're excited. So yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and start. It's 3:07. So we'll go ahead and start. So my name is Stacy, and I'm at Quail Springs Baptist Church as one of the preschool associates. And so this year for Destination Dig, we are going to be doing a lot of just, the kids are going to be seeking truth to find Jesus. And I think it's really cool that I was looking at comparing the Destination Dig theme of, you know, seeking truth and finding Jesus. And the kids are going to be discovering the truth about Jesus and how God reveals himself to them. And I think that's really cool how it goes along with the fact that some churches will be doing concrete and crange, which is building a strong foundation. And so I think, you know, those who did that last year, they're building a strong foundation, and now they're digging into the truth. And some that are doing that at the same time, I think that's fabulous for the times that we're in, the things that the kids are going through. I mean, it's been a rough year. And so I think that will be I think it's a fabulous theme. So the verse for this year is from Jeremiah 29:13. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. And so I think that's a really good thing for kids to, and all of us to remember. And so I'm going to show the video in just a second, and it's really just an overview. A lot of it is the stuff that I go over, just what you need to know when you're preparing for crafts, knowing the stories, knowing the budget, knowing how many kids you have, things like that. They will go into a few of the crafts, just not all of them on the video, a lot of what's in the craft kit, and she just kind of picks one for each day. But then when we're done, I do have most of the crafts made, so I can show you and I can kind of tell you what worked. Some of them, most of the ones from the kits that were kits, I do have all of those. And some of them are the ones that Lynn made, but I can kind of tell you what worked and what didn't. That magic craft sheet that usually Lynn has every single year, that's actually available on the CBA website. So you'll want to get your hands on one of those. That does list all the supplies and how much they cost and kind of a cost breakdown. It does list like what the favorite craft was and things like that. I will say that it would have been March. This testing those crafts was scheduled for March of 2020. We actually sort of had to abandon that because of COVID at the time. It was right when everything shut down. So I know that one family did it with their 4 boys and one family did it with like 3 girl cousins. So it wasn't mixed. They were all boys or all girls, which is fine. So it really was like one of, on the 3, one of them say the girls like this one the best, but the boys like this one the best. So I will say that the favorite part and the times are probably not as accurate as they have been in the past, but that's just because it was COVID. These things is so. So let's go ahead and pray, and then I'm going to show us the video. Father God, thank you so much for this day. Lord, I thank you for these ladies here that are taking time out of their Sunday to just watch and learn and a little bit more about VBS and the crafts that we're going to do this year and how we're going to teach children about focusing on your truth. Lord, I pray that you'll just be with them and their VBS as they plan and get ready for that you will provide the supplies needed, and the kids that are going to come, you will just prepare their hearts for that. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here and show the video. And then when it's over, I can show you some of the crafts and stuff. Okay, hang on here. Bear with me.
Well, welcome to the Vacation Bible School Destination Dig Craft Rotation. As a craft leader, one of the things you're going to want to get your hands on is your Craft Rotation Leader Guide. This guide holds all the information you're going to need to have a successful Vacation Bible School. As a craft leader, you're going to want to talk to your VBS director and find out how many children that you're going to have in your rotation. And that's where you can also get your Vacation Bible School Leader Guide for crafts. You're going to want to study the Bible stories first thing. Get those in your heart, have those ready in your mind as you begin to select your crafts for VBS for each day. You might want to have a focal wall in your VBS craft room. If you like to decorate, that's a good thing to add to your room. You can have your VBS biblical truth there for each day. Change that out every morning when you come in. You can have the Bible story there so that you can reference that when you're talking to the children about the Bible story. You know, crafts and all the rotations for VBS are just an extension of the Bible story. That is just one more element that the kids get to hear the biblical truth of the day in. Also in your VBS Leader Guide are the ABCs of becoming a Christian. You and your craft team need to know that page exists. And that's why VBS exists, to reach those children and share Jesus with them. So study that page as well. You know, your craft book also has a supply list in it. So once you've selected your crafts, that's an easy thing to grab that supply list and begin to find those crafts. Start with your church. Your church has a resource room probably or a closet full of stuff. Shop there first and get the things you need. And this is where you can make adjustments to the crafts if you need to and be resourceful. If a craft calls for twine and you have an abundance of brown yarn, get the brown yarn and use it. That's a great resource and something to do. From the supply list, after you've gone through your church's supply closet, ask your congregation for items. Your congregation loves to donate to Vacation Bible School, so make plans to ask them for supplies. Also, create your shopping list. What will you need to go purchase for VBS? There's always things that you need to pick up. And also remember that there's craft packs ready and available to just lay out for your children. Everything's pre-cut and ready. Your craft guide also has your templates in the back, and several crafts have a template and it's easy to make copies of. You don't have to create those templates yourself. So back to the number of children that you might have in your classroom. You know, those skills and abilities change over time and through those kids. So be prepared as you cut that you might want to do a few extra things for the smaller children and do a few less things for those older children because they like to trim and cut and have the ability to do that. Okay, don't do this alone. Create a team. If you just need one extra person or you need 5 extra people, share the joy of preparing for Vacation Bible School. You know, I have fun preparing for Vacation Bible School. I'm sure you do too. But we need to pull people in alongside us and teach them what we do. And they will begin to stay and do VBS year after year. But having a team helps eliminate some of the stress of preparing. When you're sitting at home cutting 3 inches of yarn at night for hundreds of kids, someone else can be doing that with you. Or call them together and do it as a group. But share the joy, because when you share the joy, that will linger right into the week of Vacation Bible School. So let's get organized with our daily supplies, and we're going to get those in zipper bags and prepared each day for your children and for your craft rotation. You know, it's fun for those kids to come in and kind of maybe anticipate what you're going to do.
Sorry, that was me. I should have said to mute, and I didn't. So I'm going to go mute myself now. Ooh, Liz has joined us. I'm going to mute myself.
The rest of the week, if you've got those boxed up with day 1 and day 2 and day 3 and day 4 and day 5 on them, and when they see those, even as part of your decorations, because you could have those crated up in your room and ready, that is fun for the kids to look forward to what's coming the rest of the week. So let's dig in to a few of the crafts that I've picked out to show you today. There is a variety of crafts to choose from in the book. There's 3 per day that you can select. As you prepare and think about your children and the skill levels that you're going to see in your kids, this is where you're going to pick and choose. And always test your crafts first. Make some samples. If you want to make this, make it first at home, put it together. If it's too difficult for you, or you think it's going to be too difficult for the children, you may want to move to a different craft that day. But these are the crafts for the day, and we're going to review the ones I've selected for you. Okay, on day 1, I selected Isaiah's scroll ornament, and that's exactly what it is. It's an ornament that is perfect for a Christmas tree, or kids can hang it in their room. And this craft is based on the story and the promise that Jesus came as God promised, and the story of Jesus' birth. And the kids are going to utilize the template in the back of the book, and they're going to wad it up, and they're going to lay it out flat, and they're going to distress it with a brown crayon and give it that patina look of ancient paper. And they're going to glue beads and twine. You're going to tie twine to it. If you can't find baker's twine, you can use any kind of twine or yarn for this ornament. But this is a perfect little ornament. I loved this. The beads were easy to find. The dowel rods were easy to find. And that's a great first day craft. The craft I chose for day 2 is the foil medallion. Now, it is from the story that Jesus demonstrated God's power. And it is made of 2.5-inch piece of cardboard, and the kids are simply going to glue yarn or twine to the top of the cardboard, and they're going to wrap it in foil, and they're going to be able to press it with their fingers, just like, that kind of feels like reading Braille underneath there, because this is the story where Jesus healed the blind man. And once they've rubbed this down with their fingers, they can take a permanent marker and color on the top of this and decorate right over top of the yarn and the elements that are underneath the foil. And then you'll want to hole punch that and add a simple metal brad. These metal brads were easy to find on a jewelry aisle, so that is an easy craft for day 2. For day 3, I selected the Roman wristbands. Kids love a wearable craft, and that's just what this is. This is made from a 2-inch by 8.5-inch piece of firm cardstock or poster board, and you're going to want to go ahead and get these pre-cut and the Velcro put on these so that the kids can have some time to glue on easy things like macaroni. Everybody loves a macaroni craft at VBS, so we've got macaroni, or you can use popcorn or small beans for this craft. You're going to want to give the children time to paint these gold and allow them to dry. And while they're drying, you can review the story again, or you can ask kids what they might like to find on a dig site. They probably have lots of things they'd like to find on a dig site. On day 4, I selected the magnetic cross bookmark, and this template is in the back of the book. Your older kids are going to be able to trace it and cut it out of black cardstock. You may want to already have these cut out for your smaller children, but this is a fun craft. I love to color on black cardstock because you can use colored pencils or paint pens to make really cool decorations, and then at the end you're just going to add 2 simple magnets at the bottom and have a book or a Bible ready to show the kids how these are great bookmarks. And they could use these in their school books or in their Bible. And, day 4 is so important because this is the day that we talk about Jesus having died and rose again died on the cross and rose again. And this is a day that you can spend a lot of time on the ABCs of becoming a Christian, because again, that one child who really likes crafts may just raise their hand and ask the craft leader to tell him more about that Jesus that we're talking about. So this is a great craft for day 4. On day 5, I selected the chariot wheel review. This is a great craft. The kids can cut the circles out and color them with colored pencils or crayons or markers. And they're going to review the story where Philip told the good news. And each portion of the wheel tells a different part of the story. And the kids, once they've put it together and built it, you can secure it on some cardboard and pin it together with a brad. And then the kids can sit and review the story with each other or the leaders or their parents about the story of Philip and the Ethiopian. An additional craft that I really liked that's in the book this year is the artifact pinch pot. And this is made from air dry clay, and each child just needs a 2-inch ball of clay, and they're just going to form it into a pinch pot. And this pot will dry, and the kids can take it home. They could color it with markers if they wanted to, but it looks very authentic to the time, and it's easy to add in to any one of the days if you needed a little extra with your crafts. Now don't forget, each day has 3 crafts to choose from, and additional crafts can be found in the different age groups if you needed to stretch over to preschool and grab a craft, or up to the VBX to grab a craft. But there's a few things that you're going to want to remember. Remember to read the Bible stories. Have those in your heart as you select your crafts for each day. And gather a team. Gather your supplies. And then share the joy of Vacation Bible School with all the children that you come in contact with this year. Jesus loves them, and he loves you, and he wants this to be a great VBS year.
My name is Rhonda Van Cleve, and I'm the VBS team leader at Lifeway. And I really wish we could be together this week so that we can show you things in person and let you touch it and pick it up and see what it feels like. And the craft packs are one thing in particular I know you like to look at. And since we can't be together in the crafts rotation or in the creative zone where you're used to seeing these, let's take a few minutes and I'll try to unpack a few of these and give you as close up of a look as I can, even in this setting. You know, it's worth repeating that the real craft rotation comes from these resources right here. Your leader guides help you drive that biblical truth home. And that's why we have VBS, is to make the biblical truth real for kids. So make sure you start with the kids' rotation guide, or in the preschool rotation pack, you'll have the preschool rotation, preschool crafts guide. And in those books, you'll be able to make the biblical connection as you talk with kids and have those conversation starters. And also in those books are several options every day. But we do have craft packs. This is the curriculum. So why are craft packs available? It's because we want to make it easier for you. As somebody who's done crafts in VBS in the past, I know that sometimes you can get hand cramps from cutting out all those shapes or hole punching all that craft foam. And so there's an intentionality behind the choices that become craft packs. We want to make it easy for you to assemble your resources and get ready to put them together. So we're going to look at a few of these. Some of the craft packs are designed specifically for kids, grades 1 through 6, but some of them are actually applicable for both preschool and kids. So we'll kind of point those out as we go along. Let's look at some of the craft packs we have for you this year. Now on day 1, there are obviously 3 craft options in your book, but one of the options is called the Isaiah Scroll Ornament. And this is a cool ornament that actually has, for a child is born unto us, written in Hebrew and made to look like an aged scroll that can be a keepsake or a Christmas ornament. So what do we find in our cool Isaiah Scroll Ornament Craft Pack. These are, we'll just take it apart and see. As we open it, you're going to find that first of all, every craft pack is going to have an instruction sheet. I'll show you this on the first one, but we may not unfold all the others. But this is the same thing that you find in the leader guide, but it makes it really easy to keep that information together. Then you're going to have the center part that's already printed, so it's really easy for you to just go ahead and follow the directions to help the kids make it look like old parchment paper. You have the pre-cut dowel rods. And from somebody who's tried to cut a lot of little dowel rods, this is a huge time saver that these are already pre-cut and are already polished with no splintery ends. You have the cord for the top, and then the beads that go on the end of the dowel rods. Once again, there's enough in a pack for 10 kids. And you can just sort it and deliver it, and that's all in there. The only extra supplies, and they're listed on the outside of the pack, the only extra supplies you really need are some crayons and some glue, and you're ready to go. So that's one of the ones that's available for day one. For day two, as we learn about the blind man, and Jesus healed him and sent him to the pool of Siloam, we have the Jesus Heals Eyeglass case. And this is a craft that's available for both preschool and kids. And it comes in a pack like this, and it says on there that it's preschool friendly. So let's unpack that one and see what we have. First of all, you have the pre-cut craft foam, which is a huge time saver, and all of the holes are already punched. My hand is already feeling cramping up thinking about having to punch all those holes, so it's such a relief to know they're already equidistant punched, big enough for the cord to go through. We also have the pre-cut cord. It's waxed cord that goes through very easily. You have a sheet of stickers, and there's a sticker sheet for every child, so 10 sticker sheets, and then the little clasp at the top so that they can hook their eyeglass case to their backpack and be ready to go for the summer. So that's an option for day two. For day three, the craft pack is the Dig Site water pouch. You know, every archaeologist that's out there in the sun all day is going to need something to keep their water bottle handy. So we're going to make, one of the options you can make on day three is a water bottle carrier. And again, what a blessing to have all of this pre-cut and especially those holes pre-punched. So as we unpack this one, the first thing we're going to see is this wonderful craft foam already cut to size with the holes punched not only for the outside edge that you're going to lace, but also for the holder, the two holes at the top for the holder. And to make life even easier, those two pieces of cord have already been pre-cut to the correct sizes. The 48-inch to go around the sides, the 36 to use as a handle. And that wax cord goes easily through the holes, or I use those plastic embroidery needles like it suggests in the instructions to help thread that through, because sometimes I have a little hard time hitting a hole with a piece of cord. However, these holes are big enough to accommodate it, no problem. So you've got your two sizes of cord, and then you've got the beads to decorate the ends of your handle. So you've got, oops, that's not beads, that's foam. How about this? You've got the two colors of beads to decorate the handle with. And then wouldn't it be hard to have to go into a craft store and find just enough I, V, B, and S to do the front? But thankfully, inside your craft pack, these are already pre-cut. You just punch them out and you're ready to go. So there's enough for 10 kids to make the Dig Site water pouch. Day 4, as we're talking about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, this one is for grades 1 through 6. But we always find that people really gravitate towards some fun cross-shaped craft for Vacation Bible School because of the truth of Jesus being taught. And so this is one of those bookmarks that I use a lot in my Bibles and books. They have the little magnetic ends on the end, so when you close it, it'll hold itself on the page. And so it's pre-cut pieces are with a scored middle, so they fold easily. And so when we open this craft pack up, you'll find that you've got your nice pre-cut, pre-scored pieces for your cross bookmark. But this is what really makes this handy, is because you're going to not only put the logo on there, but in order to remind the kids about the gospel that they've learned about, the ABCs of becoming a Christian, but the full gospel plan from God rules to we send to God provided, Jesus gives, and we respond. Those icons that we use as reminders to walk through that plan are on stickers in this craft pack. And that's really the only way I know of to get them if you want to put those on this particular bookmark. And I love that because of that gospel reminder that can go home. So you've got the pre-cut crosses, the custom stickers, and obviously the magnet strips that you need to make this bookmark work so that it'll stick together when it's on the page. Okay, so that's day 4. Then we move into, there's actually 2 options on day 5, because sometimes there'll be one that will float and you could possibly use it on another day if you'd really prefer to use it. And that one is the pottery shard frame. This one's preschool friendly. It looks like this, but unlike just our ordinary VBS picture frame, what comes with this craft pack is a special piece of paper that is a dry erase board, basically, and it's taped to the back. So now you have a dry erase board frame that you can write the memory verse on. So you see how that can actually work for any day, because every day has a verse, whether you use the theme verse or the older kids that are using bonus verses. So it's a dry erase board with a magnet strip. So as we unpack this one, I love that all of this is already pre-cut, especially the centers. If you've ever tried to cut out the center of a picture frame, you know that sometimes it's easy to go over. So these are a nice, heavy board, and they're already pre-cut. Then you've got, like I said, the dry erase piece that will be taped in behind it. And then, this is the fun part. You've got 3 different colors of just random mosaic pieces in different shapes. And the kids can just use their imagination to fill the outer frame to look like an artifact, to make their pottery shard picture frame. And then, of course, the magnet strips to make them stick to that refrigerator that we're determined to weight down enough that they fall over before your child reaches senior year in high school. And then the last one, this one is actually also considered preschool friendly, because who doesn't like a chariot and horses? And I love the fact that this actually ties directly to the story. Remember Philip meeting the man from Ethiopia, and they rode along in the chariot as they talked about scripture. This is one that I am so thankful there's a craft pack for. The templates are in the book. You can print your own and cut your own out. But look at how easy this craft pack makes this. Let's go ahead and unpack this. Probably one of the hardest things is getting the little plastic started to open. I was doing so good too. All righty. We'll get all the goodies out here. Now the first thing is, look how handy that is, that chariot is already printed. And more importantly, it's scored. It is so easy to fold those flaps and put that chariot together. You almost don't need instructions, which is probably pretty good, because if you're like me, you may tend to try first and look at instructions later. But this is the chariot. Then the horse is the same. It's already cut. It's already scored. The holes that you're going to need are already punched. And what's fun is kids of any age can just go ahead and start decorating their chariot and coloring their horse and get that all ready to start assembling. Then when you get ready to put it together, it's really fairly simple. Folding the chariot, so you'll need Scotch tape for that. Then folding the horse. Then this is the, and I knew I'd forget that, axle. The axle in the chariot. So you get one of those. You get, you need your wheels next. So the chariot wheel, one for each side. And then the beads that you glue on the end of each side of the axle to hold your wheels on. And then your reins for your horse, so you can control that chariot. And there's a hole already punched in the horse and in the chariot, so that it's real easy to pull those through and get those ready to go. Don't those look like fun? Sometimes I just like having these when I need a craft. If it didn't get picked during VBS, I have found a lot of uses for these, even post VBS. So those are the kind of fun things I hope that you find, that as you're teaching the truths that you are sharing with the kids every day, the biblical truth, that craft time will be a time to reach those kids who learn through putting their hands on something and doing things with their hands, and their brains are connecting better. It's a time to make a memory from VBS. So many memories with VBS come from craft time. And so I'll leave you with 4 quick little tidbits that just might make life easier, that come from experience. 1, always make one. Just like I made these before we talked about the craft packs, I wanted to make sure it was easy to understand how to explain. In your own setting, you'll find that, I'm glad I made that, because now I know I can use these things to sort them in. So make one ahead of time. That's the key thing. And then think about how you're going to disperse it to the kids. Sometimes it's easier to just take time to sort this out in individual Ziploc sandwich bags or quart bags and be ready to just sort of hand them out to the kids quickly and easily. And here's a second bonus to that. A lot of these crafts, especially things like the bookmark, will just go right back in the bag that had the pieces in it. So it's easy to put it right back in something that'll go home. Which brings me to my third point, and that's labeling them, because sometimes it's hard to remember which one was Nikki's and which one was Susie's. So put a label with their name on it. And the VBS sticky name tags are a perfect thing to use to label those bags. But the fourth and most important thing is, in the heat of trying to make sure you've got all of your chariot wheels cut out or you've got all of your bags labeled, don't forget that the reason we're doing VBS is to share the truth about Jesus with kids. So the number one point is, each day pray, read those connection points, make sure you know the truth you're sharing with kids that day, and make VBS a very memorable day for kids.
Okay. Could you all hear it? Yes. No? Okay. Well, I should have made sure you could hear it before whatever. I kept trying to turn mine up so that might help some. So I have a few of the crafts I want to show you, especially the ones that she didn't go over, and just some tips. So day 1, they did the Isaiah scroll ornament. I have that done. Well, mine has the kit. Mine was the kit, and then I have one that's the non-kit. This is one of those ones where, honestly, if you had somebody that could cut those dowel sticks for you, it only costs, I have the sheet in front of me, it only costs 15 cents to do this on your own. With the kit, it's 50 cents a thing. So this is one of those ones where I'm like, it's a copy and it's beads and the sticks and twine. There's not a lot to it. So nothing you couldn't do yourself, basically. Nothing you wouldn't want to do yourself. There's no hole punches to be done and all that. So this is one of those ones where I think if you have somebody that will cut those dowel rods down for you, to save money, I would do it. I would do it yourself instead of the kit. And then there is the pinch pot. Hi, Liz. There's the pinch pot that she did using, she showed it using the air dry clay. So there's this little guy. He's really kind of fun. He's probably something, I don't really know. exactly. Oh, it does say at the bottom on the sheet. This is why you want the sheet. It does say it took 3 days to dry. So this is one that you would definitely want to do at the beginning of the week, and they probably wouldn't be able to take it home until the end of the week. But this is also probably one that like the older kids might enjoy a lot because they could really do this, let it dry, and then you could almost have them paint it on one day as part of, as a craft. So that would be kind of cool. And then the one they didn't talk about was the Field Destination Dig Journal. And this is just using one of those mini comp books and then scrapbook paper. They use the faux leather stuff. And so they just glued it onto that. And then one of these is using a tie or some suede cord, but this one is actually using a rubber band, which is actually kind of cool. You could also probably use a hair tie if you wanted to, but a leather cord is kind of cool because it's kind of authentic. So that's an option for that one. And this one on the cost sheet, it says it only costs 4 cents a child. No, 89 cents. It's 4 cents each for the logo sheets of sticker. Sorry, it's 89 cents. So this is one of those. This is one of those ones that costs almost. I mean, obviously it costs almost $1, but this is a good one. This might also be a good one for the older kids because it does say on here that the kids said they would use it to take sermon notes. So it is a nice little notebook. Our 5th graders often make a journal with the giant ones. So this would be a cool one if you had older kids, if you wanted to make it the full size comp books, that might be kind of cool to do. So that was day 1. And then day 2, she showed us I think one of them showed the eyeglass case. This is one of the ones where you would definitely want the kit because it already has the holes already punched and comes with the cord. This doesn't even, I don't have a price for not using the kit. So this one's kind of fun. It is hard, I will say, to get the little clasp through the foam. That's really based on how far down the hole is on the foam and where this is to get that on. But you'd want that hole to be far enough down so that it doesn't tear the foam. So that was that one. And there were the foil medallions that she showed us using different yarn and things like that, and then covering it with the foil for it to be raised. And the other one on that day was the mystery Play-Doh. Now this was their favorite. Now I will say, Miss Lynn gave me 2 bags of this so that I decided I would test one. Well, the first batch, so all the dry ingredients are in here. You add the water and the oil, and you're supposed to mix it in the bag. Like it's supposed to be fairly hot, not too hot, but warm for sure, tap water and oil. And you add that in the bag, and then you mix it up kind of with your hands. And then when it gets pretty good and worked up, you're supposed to dump it into a paper plate and knead it yourself. So the first batch we made was disgusting. It was gross. And so then we just, instead of using the second bag, thinking, well, maybe this was old or I don't know what, we made a whole new batch of dry ingredients. And I did that one. And that one actually turned out better. And the mystery part is that the Kool-Aid drink powder is in there. And so that makes it a mystery, like what color it is and what smell it is. So we made a new batch and I did this one. And I will say that I took more care in making sure it was well mixed in this before I went to this. I also made sure that I had flour on my hands, and I actually sprinkled flour on the dough because it was almost like kneading pie dough, pie crust. You know, it needed more flour. We probably added at least a 4th cup more of flour to this than was already in here, just to get it to come together. So on the one hand, It started out gross and I thought this won't work. It ended up to be okay, but I'm not sure that the kids will take as much effort to that. It might be a fun thing to do if you had time for the teacher to be doing that. Like you could, in some ways, I think you could almost make a gallon size bag of this. And because the recipe calls for you mix all of the dry ingredients together and then you divide it in two. So it makes one batch makes 2 bags. And then you add, I think it's a teaspoon or a tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of oil and a 1/3 cup of water. So I don't know if you'd want to do just one and then divide it up for the kids. Like this would be like if you were doing preschool crafts for this would be a great one to do for that, because you're going to mix the, stuff and mix it all up and then assign it out to the kids or let them play with it or take it home. But I'm not sure that the kids on their own would mix it well enough for it not to be gross, because it was pretty slimy. So that's just something else to remember. I mean, a 5th grader would be able to do this fine, but I'm not sure the 5th grader would like to play Play-Doh. So, I mean, that's just my, it was gross. It was just slimy and icky. So that was the Play-Doh for that day. Let's see, day 3 was the Roman mill game, which is this little guy. I don't think either one of them did this one. So it's a bag. It's a circle, a felt circle. My felt is, you have to be careful. Hang on. I don't want to, the felt is delicate because I think the holes were really close to the edge. Yeah. So it's a circle and it's got a design on it. That's the that's like the game board. And so there's an instruction, there's a template in the back of the book. So it has the circle, and actually the template's a square, but you make a circle, and then it has instructions for the game. And then it's got the flat glass marbles, and so there's even amounts of 2 different colors. So it's very similar to like a Pente game or a tic-tac-toe kind of game. And so then it all lives in the little felt bag that ties up. So you just want to be careful with the holes, that they are, you can't really tell on this one, but that one's really close to the edge. And so the pulling it together sort of, that's a little fragile. So you kind of want to make sure that the holes are far enough away from the edge of the felt for this one. But it is kind of fun. So the comments, this was the boys' favorite on day 3, but it was the girls' least favorite. Liz, I don't know if you were on here when I was telling you about the magic craft sheet that Lynn always has available, that gives all the supplies, where she found them out, how much they cost. That is available on the CBA website as a download, so you can get that. I will say the testing of those, we usually get all the information also when we test the crafts with the kids, but we were scheduled to test those crafts like spring break of 2020, which was when everything went awry. So they were sent home with a family of 4 boys and a family with like 3 girl cousins. So they were not done. It was not a really good cross, test thing. So they were done though. And those were, so we would get things like a favorite boy craft, I think if they'd been together, it might have been a better, but that was just, it was 2020, right. What it was. So, so there was that one, the water pouch. And the last one on that day was that wristband. I think one of them did that with the cardboard and the macaroni shells. I do not have that. Lynn gave it to me, but I don't know where it went. That I believe was the girl's favorite. So see, but it really was a good, VBS craft. It's, macaroni shells and it's spray painted gold. I mean, right. So that's a good fun one. So there's that one. Okay, day 4, she showed us the magnetic cross bookmark, which was really super easy to do. This is another one of the ones where if you buy the craft pack, it's 50 cents. But if you just do it on your own, it's only 21 cents. So this is one of those ones where I'm like, I would just make it yourself. There's a template in the back of the book. These crosses are honestly, they would not be that hard to cut out. And then it's the magnetic tape that clips them together when you put it over your book page, like so. So they're kind of cute. Yeah, it's cute. This one was done with colored pencils, but you can see she used like gel pens or silver Sharpies, work really well on black cardstock. The one in the kit comes with a little sheet of little stickers, theme stickers. So you could also do that, but you could also buy these theme stickers, I believe. So you could always buy some additional ones if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. But if money was an issue, I would just do this one. I would not buy the kit for this one. I would do this one on your own. So
okay.
Then there was the Seek and Find stones. Those were I do not have that one. That is the one that is done with it's like a sand and some glue, and you put things in like a small little water cup, a Dixie cup, and fill that up, and then you can break it up, I guess, to find the stones. I'm not really, since I don't have one, I'm not really sure on it definitely goes with the theme. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there is the empty tomb maze, which is this guy, where it's just a meat tray, and black is what I had. So and then you put straws on here, like the bendable kind, just to make your own little maze. If it was white, it would be, you could write on it, and they're supposed to draw an empty tomb in the corner. Well, I had a rock, so just glued that, and then a star. And so you use a marble or a bead or something for them to follow along to do that. And another cool thing to do, Lynn will often do games like this with a shoebox lid. That's another option. And they'll write the parts of the verse on it, like not complete, but in different areas. So they have to do the maze by making the verse. So that's another fun way to do this one as well. So I think it's kind of fun. And this one is super cheap. This one, it's not showing up, but I mean, really, it's straws and a marble, and these would be donated, or shoebox lids could be donated. So if you're using a meat tray, obviously you'd want to wash them out really well. But that one's a fun one too. That was the tomb maze. And then let's see, bookmark, seek and find, yeah. And then on day 5, we had the pottery frame, the frame. So it comes with this already cut out with the center out of it. And then this is the dry erase part they were talking about. And this one's actually, the craft pack is 60 cents. If you did it yourself, it'd be 83 cents. So buy the craft pack for sure. And I was going to test the dry erase to see. I didn't realize that's what it was, because sometimes I am like Rhonda and I just do it without reading the instructions and figure it out later. So, but there it does, dry erase right on there.
Neat.
And it washes off, it comes off. So that's very cool. Mm-hmm. So that one's fun. And the little stickers are fun to like randomly put that how you want them to go. So that one is a fun one. And then we also have the, and this is the day where there are 3 craft packs for this day. So day 5, all of them are in a craft pack. So then we also had the chariot wheel review. I did not have a brad, so I have this paper clip and twist tie that I into it to make it work. And so the template, there's a template for this. No, there's not a craft kit for this. There's a template for this. I'm sorry. With the back, and it's got all the parts to the story, and then the front. And I believe it might tell you there was a line there, like you were supposed to cut it out to where it was hollow and there'd be another piece connecting. I didn't do that. And I wasn't really sure when she showed it. I was like, well, that does look cool, but I'm not sure that piece would stay connected with grade schoolers. Like it would probably tear anyway. So I just went ahead and cut out the pie shape so that and then you turn it and so it has, they can tell the story, the Ethiopian story with the deal. So this was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is the chariot, which is really kind of fun. And he definitely does fit that theme. So you could only do this one on that day. So these both two would only be able to be done on that day, but it really was easy to do. It's already cut out. The horse is scored in there. You fold these in. It was super easy to do. So he is super fun. So that was the chariot one. And one kid said he would put his action figures in it. So I'm trying to see which one. The favorite was the chariot. So obviously because they can put their action figures in it. So.
And would you buy the craft pack for that one?
Oh, definitely, because it's already got it all printed on here. There's a template for it in the back, but this is on really nice cardstock, and it's already scored. And when I folded it, I just taped it with clear Scotch tape. I mean, and it's still staying together. You would probably want to use stronger tape or glue stick and tape, because it is, I will say, since it's such heavy cardstock, the glue stick, you would definitely need tape to reinforce the glue while it's drying, because it's so heavy, it would probably pull away. So there's that. And let me see, the craft pack, it's 50 cents a child. So this is one of those ones where all the work is done for you. So definitely, would definitely suggest that for sure. So that is all of them. So you think you found something you might like for each day? Yeah. Like I said, that fifth day, those two crafts are definitely to the story. Like you wouldn't be able to use those on another day. So that's for sure. But I think that's it. Liz, what church are you at?
Eastwood.
Okay.
In Middle City.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. That's what we got here.
All right.
I hope it helped. I hope you guys have a great VBS. When is your VBS, Liz?
June 6th.
Okay. So coming up.
It starts. Yeah.
Early. Yeah. And have you done crafts at VBS before?
I have a couple of years with crafts, and then I did snacks for several years, but now because of COVID, we're not really doing snacks.
Yeah. So you're
going back to crafts.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you guys came. I hope it helped. I hope you figured out something. Let me give you let me see, is there chat? If I chat, that's going to be everyone. Okay, I'm going to give you my email address real quick, just in case you have any questions.
Grab a pen. Let me write down.
Yeah.
I'll take you with me. Ignore the background.
Okay, gotcha. But also, so the craft sheet is on the CBA website. I think it's cbaokc.net, I think is what it is. There's a VBS tab on there, and so you can do that. But my email address is ssherry@qsbc.org. And that's the Stacy Sherry. So that's the SS part. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can email me if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to try and answer them. If I can't answer them, I will get the answer from Lynn and see what I can do.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's pray before we go.
Okay.
Father God, thank you so much for this day, Lord. I thank you for these ladies here. I thank you for their servant hearts and their willingness to help in VBS. And I pray that they go well and that kids will come and learn about you. In Jesus' name, amen. There we go.
Amen.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, that was fun.